The Architecture of Mind, Navigating the 7 Levels of Consciousness. Prasad Bharadwaj. Have you ever wondered why people experience life so differently, even when they face similar situations? The answer may lie in the hidden architecture of the human mind. Just as a building has multiple floors, our consciousness also unfolds through distinct levels of awareness. In this video, we'll explore the 7 levels of consciousness, a profound journey from survival and emotional conditioning to intuition, unity, and ultimate transcendence. Understanding these inner levels can transform the way you think, feel, and experience reality. Let us explore it now. You may know the feeling of living at a fraction of your real capacity. The sense that the version of you showing up each morning is somehow smaller than the version waiting inside, hidden behind the walls of your daily routine. This signal suggests your consciousness is ready to expand. The quality of your life depends on the level of awareness you bring to your perception rather than the external circumstances you find yourself in. This U-curve maps the hidden architecture of the mind. It traces 7 levels of consciousness through 3 distinct phases, pointing our attention outward, turning it inward, and finally reaching a unified state. Level 1. Victim Consciousness. Most people live and die in the basement. This is victim consciousness, where the view is limited and fear becomes the air you breathe. From this position, life feels like a constant battle against scarcity and others. Escaping this level requires assuming 100% responsibility for your life experience. This means recognizing you have the power to choose your interpretation and your response to anything life places before you. When you stop being the effect and begin acting as the cause, you move to the next level. Level 2. The Warrior. You put on the armor of discipline and transform the world into a strategic arena of challenges and opportunities. The warrior develops willpower like a trained muscle. They learn to rise early, make difficult decisions through fear, and say no to immediate rewards to serve a long-term vision. Through this discipline, they begin to sculpt their own reality. But the warrior eventually reaches a limit. Their peace is conditional on the next victory, and their worth is entirely fused with their performance. This creates a state of chronic activation where the body runs on adrenaline and cortisol until the system becomes depleted. The warrior discovers that victory at this level is never the real destination. They have been struggling to prove a power they already possessed, and they realized the mountain they spent years climbing was only the outline of the next goal. This realization marks the birth of the next stage of consciousness. Level 3. The Seeker. For the first time, the direction of attention reverses. The drive to conquer the external world gives way to a courageous curiosity about the internal landscape. The seeker explores philosophies and ancient wisdom traditions, historical maps like these papyrus texts to find language for what they feel. They begin to ask the essential question, who am I beneath the armor? A specific shadow haunts this level, spiritual bypassing. It is the trap of accumulating frameworks and teachings as a substitute for transformation. The seeker becomes a collector of maps who never actually steps into the territory they describe. Genuine evolution requires taking insight from the book and testing it in a moment of anger. The seeker must eventually stop looking for external answers and begin to trust the quiet inner authority that has been there all along. At the curve's deepest point, we encounter the next stage of consciousness. Level 4. The Witness. This stage arrives when you recognize you are the space in which thoughts appear rather than the thoughts themselves. You step onto the riverbank to observe the mind without being consumed by it. You watch emotions move through you as movements of energy, recognizing them as temporary events occurring within a field of awareness that remains untouched. Think of yourself as the sky while your thoughts and emotions are merely the weather. The weather changes constantly, but the sky remains aware, complete, and unthreatened by the storm. This shift in identity interrupts suffering at its source. While pain is a natural feature of human experience, the witness sees the pain without adding the ego's interpretation. Without the story, the pain moves through as all things move through. From this grounded awareness, the journey turns back toward the world. From this grounded awareness, the seeker naturally evolves into the next stage. Level 5. Heart Consciousness. At level 5, the heart, the boundary between self and other, becomes transparent as you recognize the same life animating everything you see. Seeing the other as vivid and undeniable as yourself transforms your interactions. Compassion emerges not from pity, but from the recognition that the suffering before you is familiar and deeply human. This naturally leads to the next level. Level 6. The Conscious Creator. At this stage, the inner and outer worlds are understood as a single unified field. The creator realizes that their internal state determines the filter through which they experience reality. This isn't the warrior's brute force. The creator identifies subterranean beliefs like unworthiness or fear and recognizes how those beliefs shape their outcomes by consciously refining their emotional state. They change the signal they broadcast into the field of possibility. When you operate from clarity and confidence, the same actions that previously failed now produce different results. The external world acts as a mirror reflecting the quality of the consciousness that is perceiving it. This leads to the final stage of evolution. Level 7. Unity Consciousness. Here the distance between observer and observed entirely collapses. Every authentic wisdom tradition has pointed toward this destination, represented by enlightened figures such as the Buddha. You recognize yourself as the totality of the ocean expressing itself through a particular temporary wave. The personal perspective doesn't vanish. It becomes the instrument through which the whole experiences itself. This journey is rarely a straight ascent. Real transformation is a spiral where you touch higher levels and then find yourself back in the basement the following morning. These moments provide the feedback necessary to deepen your practice. Growth requires integrating the shadow, the parts of yourself you judged as unacceptable and pushed underground. What we most dislike in others often points to these rejected aspects of ourselves like buried anger or suppressed ambition. The primary tool for this work is the microsecond pause between a trigger and a reaction. Taking one conscious breath in that gap invokes the witness, allowing you to choose a response from a higher level of awareness. Transformation is the daily practice of bringing this awareness into your body and your relationships. It is the faithfulness of returning your attention to the ground of your being over and over until you live from the unchanging sky. This is the complete journey of human consciousness, from victim consciousness to unity consciousness through 7 levels of awareness. This is the architecture of the mind. If you found this message meaningful and valuable, please give this video a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. For more videos on spirituality, philosophy, self-discovery, and Sanatan Dharma, be sure to subscribe to the Chaitanya Visionam channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until then, may your journey toward higher consciousness continue with clarity, courage, and inner peace. We'll meet again soon with another inspiring exploration into the mysteries of the mind, consciousness, and Sanatan wisdom. Jai Gurudev. May you be blessed with peace, wisdom, and well-being. With love and gratitude. Prasad Bharadwaj.